Hi, we're here to talk today about disclosures. The disclosures that you'll be filling out with your sellers, the homeowners of the property you're selling. Let's start with an overview of the disclosures you'll be filling out with the homeowner. There are three parts to the disclosures, in my opinion. The first part is the disclosures your seller will sign that pretty much they just need to read, review, and just initial and sign. The second part is the disclosures such as the transfer disclosure, the seller property questionnaire, the earthquake hazard report, and the lead-based paint. Also, the seller's FERPTA, where they actually have to think about it, review the questions, check off boxes, answer the questions, and then initial and sign. And finally, the third section is the agent visual inspection disclosure, called the AVID. The AVID is the agent visual inspection disclosure. That's the form where you, the agent, will fill out what you see wrong with the house or what things you'd like to note in the disclosure that you notice at the house. The first section of disclosures, once again, is the disclosures that the homeowner pretty much needs to just review, read, and then initial and sign where necessary. We'll start with the statewide buyer and seller advisory. It is 14 pages of fun-filled information. Okay, it's important stuff that both the buyer and seller should review and then initial and sign on page 14, the very last place. Your seller will sign here, your buyer will sign here, the listing agent will sign here, and the buyer's agent will sign here. That is the first one. The second one is the market conditions advisory, called MCA. It's a 2-page disclosure that's very helpful for the buyer to know and the seller to know about selling a house. The next one is, for your protection, get a home inspection. This form is required if you're doing an FHA transaction. The next one is for the buyer only. It's a buyer's inspections election. Our office requires that the buyer check off what type of inspections they may be doing, yes or no, and then sign and date. And finally, our office has an addendum to the SBSA, an addendum to the statewide buyer and seller advisory. The same idea with that last one, and that is the buyer will initial the inspections that they may have done, read the important information, especially the ones in bold, and then sign and date. Hi, so we're going to end with one final form, the AVID, the Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure. The AVID is tied to the TDS and the SPQ, but the AVID is just for you, the agent, to fill out. There's some important things to remember when doing your AVID. First, it is your visual inspection. We don't want you to speculate on anything you see. We don't want you to use big adjectives, either in the positive or negative way. And we just want it to be concise. Finally, I always look at the AVID as, is that glass half full or is the glass half empty? And it's up to you. When I say glass half full, some people want to talk about the remodeled kitchen and all those things. And maybe it's pertinent because this is a flip that you're selling, and that's fine. But in general, it may be better to just be glass half empty kind of person and really be a little more on the pessimistic side when you fill out your AVID. And what I mean by that is, if there's something wrong, then you're pointing it out. If there's nothing wrong, then just put nothing noted. Let's go ahead and take a look at the AVID and fill it out. So, the inspection is performed by 24 Hour Real Estate. The inspection date, let's pretend, is today, 1/28/19 at 2 o'clock p.m. The weather conditions, you just want to say what's going on outside. In this case, sunny. Other persons present. If the homeowner is home, or if there's a tenant, or if you happen to be doing your AVID during the inspection, put inspector, buyer, and the homeowner, if that's the case. Just put who's there. So here we go. The entry. The entry, there's nothing wrong, so I'm just going to write nothing noted. The living room. Well, there was a crack on the molding in the corner, so I just write crack in molding, crack on base molding. Dining room, nothing noted. Kitchen, well, in the kitchen I noticed I noticed some chipped tile on the countertops. So I'm just going to write chipped tile on countertops. Other room. Other room would be like maybe a laundry room. You may also want to use laundry room if you have a lot of bedrooms, because you're going to run out of room. You only have 3 bedrooms. In this case, the house we're doing was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, so I'm fine. I'm going to use other room to be the laundry room. So I'm going to write laundry room. In this case, nothing noted. Hallway. Nothing noted. Bedroom 1. Stain on ceiling. I'm going to go ahead and write stain on ceiling, but what I'm not going to do is say small stain on ceiling, which I know we all want to say that because we want to minimize that there's a stain on the ceiling, but it's best not to say small because you don't want to be in court someday having to define small in your words with an attorney. So just write stain on ceiling. Another thing that you don't want to do is speculate. Maybe the owner told you that the house had central air and heat and the stain on the ceiling was from the condensation line leaking or the condensation pan, overflow pan leaking, or maybe the seller told you it was from the roof. But you're not an expert in this field, so don't speculate. So do not write stain, do not write the following: small stain on ceiling because of a minor leak last week when it rained. Don't say that. Keep it simple. Small stain on ceiling. Then the other ones, bedroom 2 and bedroom 3, were nothing noted. Bathroom 1 was remodeled when Juliana or Kim Kardashian, when she bought the home. So if you want to write remodeled bathroom, that's fine. In this case, I'm just going to write nothing noted because there was nothing wrong. I'm not going to point out the remodeling. I'm just going to say nothing noted. That's it on the second page. Now I'm going to flip to the last page. The garage. So the garage was detached according to Juliana, aka Kim Kardashian. In this case, I'm just going to say nothing noted. But what if I wasn't able to see the garage? Is it best to write nothing noted? Probably not. Because what if once I did see the garage, what if there was I could see daylight, because there was a leak, a leak in the roof. Or what if there was a lot of personal property, or what if there was mold on the wall or something like that. So if you didn't see it, it's best to say unable to inspect. Under exterior and yard, there was nothing to note, so I'm going to write nothing noted. And finally, under other observed or known conditions not specified above, this may be a time that you can say things that you know, maybe things that the seller told you, that it wasn't your words, but it was from them. So in our case, Juliana let us know that she lived close to the train tracks, which, duh, you could see that yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and write train tracks nearby. Finally, Juliana pointed out that she had a water heater that leaked a couple years ago. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that according to seller, water heater leaked in 2016 and caused floor damage, which has been repaired. Again, you made it sound like it was according to the seller. Other things that could come up that you could write on this, not in our particular case, but just in general, if there was a death in the home and you know about it and the seller disclosed it on their form, it may be a good idea to say it here on this, to write death in home. Sometimes in this case you can say, if you do know, the specifics, on the date or whatever, and again, according to the seller, such and so died on such and such date. Then after that, you'll go ahead and sign it and date it in 2 places as the listing agent and have your seller sign it. This concludes our final form under disclosures, the AVID, Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure, and it concludes the disclosures portion of your training. Thanks for watching.